high and low, opening up to masculine and feminine sounds, range and beyond. Evolution through expanding your sonic range. And so what I mean by this is let's use sounds, high and low, low and high, soft, loud, medium. And using sound as a way to affect your aura, your energetic system, and allowing it to expand. And so the first part of my story is the fact that I'm a musician, and I've been playing the piano, and today I couldn't bring my 88 full-size grand piano. I have this one is a 61 keyboard, so just imagine a little bit longer, an 88 keyboard. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the process of me becoming a musician and a pianist. At one point, during college, I was practicing, and I'm thinking, this thing about me sitting down and then this big piano, there was always this sense of separation. I walk to the piano, sit down, meet the piano, start playing, and it was like the piano and me and the piano and me. It was always this separation. And I said, we need to change that. For me to become an artist, to really be a pianist, means I need to merge with the energy of the piano. I need to become one with the piano. And as I made this conscious decision, I started to play the piano differently. Every sound I make, I would open up my energy center in my body. And I would say physically, really open it up. And I would try to find a place in my body where it would resonate, play this note. It's not quite the same, but, and that's how that, different. This is an electronic keyboard. There's something about that too. When I play a real piano, natural piano, there's something about wood, and a real natural sound. And I think it has to do with the fact that it's natural. And so I resonate to that, and I would feel the sound entering my body. And when you learn a piece of music, what you do is you just absorb all the sounds, and you let it ripen, kind of like making wine. And then when it's time to perform, it just comes out of you, ripening through the Sarah Takagi filter. It's like a bit of filter water. Anyway, but it was very interesting. As I was playing the piano, I noticed as I'm playing, and I would go lower and lower and lower in the piano. And imagine, you can also think about chakras as well, because you have books, tons of books out there saying, well, if you play from C to C, which I'm kind of being a little snobbish about this, but they say, well, if you have this little octave and you play the C, that's your root chakra. D is your second chakra. Get in touch with your sexual feelings. Play the E, and then you're in touch with your solar plexus. And honestly, as a musician, I have to say that's an extremely myopic and small, truly a very superficial way of looking at chakras. But anyway, as I was playing the piano and I would go lower and lower, I could feel it descending my chakras. And I could feel it going lower, and also I noticed I was very uncomfortable. I don't really want to associate with these lower sounds. I don't want it to become part of my body. It feels weird. It doesn't feel like me. And part of the reason for that was the fact that we have, on the piano, we have what's called the, let's say, I have no idea what they really are, but let's say E to G. That's the soprano human vocal range. And then you go a little lower, that's the alto singing range. This is tenor. And then the interesting thing about the piano is it actually has the entire, all the range of all the instruments ever invented and more. But it does contain all the human vocal range. So your baritone, your alto, your soprano line is within the piano, and I think what I was feeling was this is beyond my vocal capacity. I physically, naturally could not produce any of this sound, and since it's not natural to my energetic human system, I was resisting it, I can't possibly even sing this so that it doesn't feel natural. And then at the same time, I was getting ready for my concerto competition, and I was learning a piece by Brahms. And for those of you who are familiar with Brahms as a classical composer, He's one of those composers that really, really, really loves to put all the melody in the lower part of the piano. So now we're talking like all the lower registers that I was having problems with. As I was practicing and practicing, my teacher said, "Oh, you must feel this," and I'm getting criticized and getting impressed. Oh God, how do I get ready for the material competition? And so I finally said, "Okay, that's it. This is all the lower registers. I could never sing it. All the guys could sing this part, and that's probably why all the male pianists are famous for playing Brahms." I said, "You know what I'm going to do? In order to make it by this competition, I'm going to play like a man. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to embrace my inner man." Sarah Takagi, the man. Yeah. Bigger, taller. I did in fact imagine that I became Brahms. I decided, well, let's do a shortcut. I'm just going to become Brahms. The big hair, the hot whatever. So, long story short, it was a very good idea because I ended up doing really well in the competition. And my musical colleagues were saying, "Wow, Sarah, you play very convincingly." Well, now going forward, what this meant was then I said, you know what? Piano is interesting. It develops your masculine side. So that means on the same token, you're developing your feminine side as well. So it's like, oh, here's the masculine and the feminine side. Like, male pianists out there, if you want to become a woman, try this side. So, but it has both masculine and feminine. And then the part that it's interesting, and I want to give this question to you guys, because what does it mean? Here I am, I'm a pianist. I'm trying to play the piano really well. So, okay, that's the practical goal. I'm playing these notes, and my process as an artist is to naturally feel it in my body, and then regurgitating it out. But then I'm also playing notes that no human being could ever sing, right? So notes that are way lower than anyone could ever sing, and notes that are really up, way up there. I mean, nobody could ever sing that. So, how is that sound? How is that stretching this sonic resonance in my body? What is that making me? An alien? Am I becoming a male, female, schizo? Or am I becoming, who knows? I mean, I was really seriously wondering, am I becoming androgynous? What does this all mean? So think about that, all right? Because now I'm going to go into something interesting. Talking about male-female voice. And as sound sensitive, I've noticed a very big difference between conversational vocal range, let's say, in male and female in this country, and older countries like Europe, and my country, Japan. For example, if you, basically, what I've really observed about United States particularly, I happen to be turning on TV and watching like a 50s little TV show, and I was like, wow, this is it, because the woman, female actresses in the TV show were talking really high. And then they always have the lines. They were like, "Oh, honey, would you like your breakfast? Oh, cereal. Oh," and then it had these very feminine, and they had the inflections where go up. "Oh yes, honey, I will be back." Like think of all those TV shows that you love. Okay, so if you really go back, then I ask you to test it out. Try watching like one of those TV shows. The New Normal, for example, that's a good TV show to watch. And then turn on the 50s show, and you're going to notice that the vocal gap between the male and the female is much larger. But now, contemporary United States, when I sit down in any coffee shop and listen to a woman and male speak, I notice very little sonic gap. It's like, what I notice, historically speaking, and I feel like the woman's voice has dropped. And I noticed that the male voice has really gone up. about United States being a young country. So we're still hovering around the root chakra, but we're also talking about how we're very affected by a conscious constitution that's alive, and it's all about equality, right? Equality, racial equality, gender equality. So think about equality. So should we have a sonic gap, or should we try to all be equally sonically right? So I feel that the feminist movement, I will add my comments later, has really lowered the woman's voice, and in return, the men feeling the pressure, like, oh, I'm not supposed to like be biased, I don't want to be seen as sexually harassing, so I got to make sure that my voice is high enough, so we're like on the equal level. We don't have a gap. We can't go who's a female, who's a male. We're all androgynous anyways. So that being said, like if I go to my country, for example, and observe the interaction between a man and a woman, you notice like it's the tradition is still there. I mean, nobody in Japan has no idea what, we have no idea what the Constitution is, or if we even have a Constitution. So we have no sense of equality. There's no feminist movement. The men are still in love with, being a samurai, and the women are, trying to be as cute as, we're all trying to be Hello Kitty. Just as an example, if I were to speak in a Japanese way, you can just notice, like, my voice is going up because I'm trying so hard to be very cute and kawaii, which is the trendy thing. In Japan, it's actually not even encouraged to be a woman; it's encouraged to be a girl. Yeah. So you really don't even grow up beyond a girl. So you have to make sure you're very, very cute and wear Hello Kitty every day, and wear lipstick, and always make sure your phrase is in dog. And then the men are trained to get in touch with their hara. We are all samurais. We have to make sure who's in power. So they're extremely chauvinistic, and we make sure that that's still that way. So if you go to Japan, the sonic gap is like this big. And then I've also noticed the same for France, Italy, Russia. You look across, so actually I'm very sound sensitive. I work at the conservatory where I'm surrounded by all the Russians. And I also studied every language, Italian and French, and I've noticed that when you speak, when you speak in French, it's very German, and Italian people also, it's about charm and culture and refinement. So there's a lot of, what I'd say, a dance between a man and a woman. There's like a little dance. And there is a sexual innuendo as well. I feel like they're still enjoying the female and the male dance. And what I have to kind of say about this country is that we're so afraid that we're going to treat each other as unequal, that we have pretty much like killed and destroyed the fact that we have different gender or different race. You're not black, we're not yellow, we're not white, you're not a female, you're not a male, we're all just beings walking around. So, we're going to make sure we're speaking the same tone the whole time. So, I just thought, that's a little bit thought-provoking, because I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, and my personal opinion is, please, God made man and woman. There's something interesting to look at physically, right? You guys are different. I enjoyed my yellow skin, or my black skin, or who cares? But it's kind of fun. I think Friday is fun. Try getting out of the Narita airport in Japan. Oh my God. You cannot find your mom or father or friends because we all have black hair. We all look exactly the same. And if you ever got there, boy, you better remember what I was wearing, because there's no way we all look the same, right? So I really appreciate this variety in America. So I was going to say, why don't I bring back a little sonic variety here? So I was going to actually say, my feeling about the feminist movement wasn't really authentic feminist movement. What really happened at the time was females just trying to act really manly like very forceful, willful. We're strong, we're powerful. Yeah, we're gonna just talk down, and we're gonna make sure the statement and inflections never go up, but we always talk down in an authoritative voice. Try listening to Hillary Clinton. You know, when she speaks as state of secretary, I'm Hillary Clinton, and as you can see, even trying to emulate Hillary makes my voice go down. And as a former professor at Wellesley College, I can honestly tell you, I've taught there for 8 years, we have a really low sonic range. And so my question is, what is an ideal vision for the future sonically? And my feeling is it's not about let's talk lower, let's talk higher. I think as the out reflects the in and the in reflects the out, we have the planet in a state of imbalance. And as we all know, I'm sure most people who are here, we all know what it is. It's an imbalance of the domination of the male energy, right? And we all are aware of that. And male energy particularly is about, you know, logic. It's good. Logic is very good, you know, but it's also about force, aggression. And in the same way, I was going to say, you know, how many of you are right-handed? Raise your hand.
Right-handed?
Right-handed. How many of you in this room are right-handed? Just raise your hand. Okay. Yeah, look around, look around, look around. Okay, so what do you suggest is the majority of the people on this planet are basically right-handed? Now, getting back to the left fist, right fist, when Walter was talking about the left fist laughter is a very good thing because right-handed people are using left brain. This is a little confusing, so stay with me, because I'm confused actually talking about this. Actually, I'm trying to speak with myself. The masculine qualities of logic, reasoning, willpower, determination all come from your left hemisphere of your brain. By the way, I'm right-handed, as you can see. Willfully presenting this stuff. And then, if you, however, clench your left fist, you're connecting to your right side of your brain, which is the feminine principle, the inner goddess, the feminine, the intuitive, the fluid, the soft, the compassionate, you know, the sensual. All of that is in your right. So basically, it would be really much better. My vision, the first vision for the future, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, is to say, how many of you are right-handed? Half of you, left-handed, half of you, or how many of you are both-handed? Okay, that's my ultimate vision for the future, is not about right-handed or left-handed. We need to first have more left-handed people to bring in the feminine principle. But we also want people to have a true inner balance of the feminine and masculine. So I say it's the true marriage. Just as we need in this planet the balance between female and male energy, and we need more female energy, we need inside of us more female and male energy. And so finally, how do you accomplish this? I said, well, first, you can try this. Play the piano. You can play the piano. Actually, it's not just being funny. Apparently, according to MRI imaging, they have been proven that people who engage in musical activity, not necessarily even piano, light up both hemispheres of your brain due to the fact that music is a balanced activity of intuition, logic, feeling, mathematical, physical, oral, visual. It's a very multi-engaging activity. So apparently if any one of you are into this talk and you're like, oh God, I want to balance my right and left and feminine, masculine, then play music or engage in music. That'll do the job. Also another way is, the way I do it is when you want to expand your sonic range, you simply really engage in listening, active listening. Like if you want your root chakra and lower energies, masculine, do some drumming or hear some drumming or rock music. Or listen to some flute music. Or listen to some some Gregorian chant to activate your higher chakras. But you can use music as a way to really nurture all of the parts of you that might be dormant and needs to be activated, and so on. So my last statement is that not only do I want to see right-handed and left-handed people where we become balanced, but I'd like to go back to the first question I had for you. What do you think? What does it mean for me, the pianist, playing beyond the human vocal range? What is happening to me, besides the fact that I am turning into an alien? What do you think? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? You guys, do you think I should just like chop off my piano? Don't play piano.
Go for it.
Go for it?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think is going to happen to me? Like, you guys, this is the future of my life. My happiness is important to me. Right? My sense. So
Play with whales and dolphins. Yeah.
that's a whole other talk, right? Wait, you're totally right, though. Dolphins can hear way beyond our human capacity. And what does it mean? Because they say dolphins are magical. So, as a person on an infinite path towards becoming one with the universe, the last thought I want to leave with you is that let's look at nature, and not really nature, and I'm talking beyond the planet. What is the natural state of the universe? It's expanding all the time. At least when the expansive cycle, there will be a time when it will contract. But right now we're in the expansive. So would it be good for me to keep playing those notes beyond?
Yeah.
Yeah? And getting back down on earth. So how many of you want to take piano lessons? So, anyways, this is I'm sorry to take up so much time, but thank you so much. So next time, just get your ears open